It says preparing the live stream, and it says the meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Welcome to Discover Gratitude Live, Maurice. It's an honor and privilege to have you here. My name is Noah McIntyre, for those of you who I haven't met yet. And Maurice Rubino has generously and kindly agreed to be my guest today on Discover Gratitude Live. I'll let him say a little bit about how we know each other, but to get to the point on my end, Maurice, you are one of my most important business mentors in the community of business owners that I know through BNI, the Business Network International. And some of you may know that I lead a number of initiatives and programs and worked full-time with BNI for a number of years. And Maurice, you were one of the first people to really encourage me to kind of step up and become a leader in the BNI international community. So thank you for your encouragement and your positive feedback and mentoring over the years. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you.
So what would you like just to say a little bit about yourself and kind of what you want people to know about you and your business and how we know each other?
Well, good day, Noah, and I appreciate the opportunity. Meeting with you kind of brings back memories for me because we first met each other perhaps 6-7 years ago. And I kind of knew then who you were because when I talk to somebody, I get a sense of who they are right away. And you immediately gave me the sense that you were open and you had a special way about you. So the fact that you are doing something with discovering gratitude as your business makes 100% sense to me. It just kind of rounds out my idea of who you were that very first time I met you. So it's been a pleasure to know you for that many years. So thank you for having me on here today.
Oh yeah, no, it's a pleasure to know you, and you're welcome. It's like the pleasure is all mine. It's an honor, and I appreciate everything that people might not know about you, but just to say there is a lot of value that you've created in the local business community in the Boston area where we live. And I know that you've also been a leader and a director in the Business Network International Massachusetts chapters. And so, both as an insurance professional and a mentor around business networking, there's a lot you've offered. And I would like to get your perspective first thing on a couple of tips that people can use, whether it's personally or professionally, insurance or business, small business networking ownership. How do we deal with the COVID-19 crisis? Like, how do we kind of get through this and make the most of this time right now?
Well, thank you. I got into the business that I'm in 30 some odd years ago, and it was at the request of my father-in-law, and whose name was Bernie Ernest. And one thing he said to me was, "Service is the gateway to sales." And when I heard that and I watched him every day, I understood exactly what he meant, and it rubbed off on me because one of the biggest compliment I can ever get from people is when I talk to them and they've known Bernie, they've said, "You sound just like Bernie." And thank you, God, for that, is all I can say. And because of that, I've kind of devoted my time, especially right now during this situation, of just trying to be a resource. And what a nice tie-in to the organization that we both met each other in Business Networking International, because the resources are right there for us every single day. And all we had to do is tap into them. In fact, right behind me, I have what I call the Wall of Fame. And on there are all the business cards of the fellow members in our chapter. And it's just, most of the people I could call just by knowing off the top of my head, but they're right behind me. And it just kind of emphasizes to me, they're there behind me, both physically, mentally, and in every way. And I've shared those resources with many, many clients over the years. I always will tell people in a phone call, by the way, if you ever find yourself thinking, I wish I knew someone, or I wish I knew how to do, think of me. And because I have probably someone that can help you, and better still, I have somebody that I know can help you that I've either used myself or I've heard numerous testimonials for. And we're very fortunate. I think you would agree with me that our chapter has some of the most well-known and most efficient people that you ever want to meet. Transitioning from that, I'm also very proud to be in the insurance industry these days. And the insurance industry, can take its hits over the years, but I try to separate some of the things like, well, they own tons of real estate and they have billions of dollars into, but what did they actually do? And a couple of things that they've done. The industry has donated literally millions of dollars to local communities. And particularly, I know of several companies in Massachusetts that have done that, and to benefit either existing businesses or to just send it to kitchen pantries and things of that nature that will help the local community get through this process. Our own agency, Hub International, has also created a matching campaign fund that I've contributed to, but so haven't literally thousands of our employees. So we've accumulated and will be matched by the ownership. It'll probably end up being several hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
So that's an amazing thing, and it's something that I'm truly proud that I'm in this industry, that I can say that. Again, I've tried to personally support those local vendors that I use and that I've been using all along. And I just give you a brief story. I had a haircut that was due, I believe it was, the end of April. And I knew I wasn't going to go to have the haircut. So I turned around, I wrote a check, and I sent it. And I said, I'm sorry I can't make the appointment, but I want to send you this check because this is probably what I would have spent anyways, just in support of your business. And I know this person, and he's not a soft-hearted person necessarily, but if you could see tears through a text message, that was him in this time. He just was like overflowing, and he couldn't believe that I would do that. But why wouldn't you do that? I mean, this is somebody that you work with for years. You want to see them survive the whole situation that we're going through. And if you can do a little bit, and everybody does a little bit, then it's just, it's a win-win for everyone. A couple of things I just also want to emphasize that's been done in the insurance industry is without any provocation at all, without being pushed into it, insurance companies have recognized the fact that people aren't driving right now. So they automatically have put into place, at least for the months of April and May, and some have actually continued it into June, a discount program on auto insurance for those months. It's one of those things that I'm sure is greatly appreciated by the clients. For any little money they get these days is certainly going to go to a good place, that rather than spending it on insurance. And also the companies have suspended cancellations. So normally if somebody got a bill and it was due, and on the due date, boom, out would go that cancellation notice, and they've put a suspension on those. Generally, most of them are doing that through June 1st. So that's the kind of thing that makes me proud to be in the business, and the type of things that are being done currently to try and cope with this whole situation.
Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, this idea of supporting our local business owners, is like, it makes such a difference. I know that you've run an initiative in our BNI chapter to support the local restaurant that we use for our business networking social events. And I know that is probably very much appreciated. And all of the elements for how do you look out for a community doing well, like the business card display you have behind, is like, when you look at how is your community doing well, it makes it possible for you to do well.
Exactly.
And I think for so long, we've lived in this culture where you think, I need to do well. So you focus on yourself. But when you focus on the group doing well, it's kind of like if the soil for the whole garden is not healthy, nothing's going to grow.
Absolutely.
And, at this time of springtime where it is the season of growth and we do need to help each other grow and take care of, our garden, obviously there's so much we can do ourselves. But when you're being as community focused and minded and sharing the resources that you can, um, I know that my partner's firm, foundation where he works, is really supporting the employees to do this kind of matching program as well. And there's some people who may need help. So even in our BNI chapter, we've been encouraging business owners who are not able to do their direct day-to-day client work to ask the chapter for help as well. So I appreciate all of that. I would love to just hear from you in this time of change and, some, real tragedies are happening in people's lives. Some things people are being incredible heroes, particularly in the healthcare and the essential services industries. Um, how are you showing your clients, and I know you talked about this a little bit, and your people that you work with, your colleagues, kind of an extra level of appreciation and relationship building, and letting them know you're going to be there for them in the long run? Like, how are you doing that in your day-to-day life?
That's a great question. And the very first thing that I did when I was, it probably was into the second week of working remotely, is I said, one of the things I do miss is the camaraderie with my fellow employees in the department that I'm in. So there's probably about 30 people in the department. And I took an entire week. I said, I'm going to do like 5 or 6 a day, and I'm just going to call them. And it, again, was one of those things that's just the amazing response, because they weren't getting calls from, other employees. And somebody like myself who's worked actually at this location for just a couple of years is suddenly picking up the phone and calling them and just saying, hey, I'm just checking in on you. How you doing? And I was just overwhelmed with like calls back, emails back, texts back, thanking me for thinking of them. And that's kind of one of the points I want to make as far as what everyone can do. Right now, I actually can see the difference between picking up the phone and calling people. Number one, they're available. Number two, they're happy to talk to you. And I don't make it a sales call by any means. I make it into something where I want to learn about them, find out about them, and maybe use my wall of fame behind me to help them a little bit more. And to finish it off, basically what I've tried to do is, in certain situations, I've sent business cards. Thanks to Noah's Discover Gratitude program, it's been an amazing thing, because it's another touch point that I want to do with my clients to let them know I really care, and I really do. I did a email campaign. So some of the things and the resources that are available to me from Hub put into my possession a number of activities that people can do that are free, that are online. And I said, what a beautiful thing to share with my clients. So I created an email and said, hey, I want you to be aware of this. And I basically told them what I am doing right now to get through this. And here's some things that I thought I would share with you to allow you to also do these things. And that was well received. I got many calls back because of that. On the business client basis, I made a campaign of this because I really feel like, let's face it, the strength of this country is built on small business. And who's being affected mostly by this? Small business. And so what I tried to make sure is that people did some things that may benefit them in the long run. And without getting too technical about it, I wanted to make certain that people did file claims with their insurance company, business claims I'm talking about, for something called business interruption insurance. And that was simply so they would be on record, because I do feel that somewhere down the road, we're going to see that either the insurance companies voluntarily or the government or the legislation that's being filed already will make it a situation where there will be some reimbursement, but they're probably going to ask, did you file a claim to make sure you didn't get paid already? So they have even a rejection letter is a good thing at this moment in time. And I wanted that message to get out there. So I've just tried to keep in contact with people, to ask them how they're doing, to give them information that they may not be able to get elsewhere or get it as easily. And I usually will put on all my emails in the subject line from Maurice Rubino, so they'll know that it's coming from a trusted source.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate all the things you've done to bring that kind of value to our community, our local business area in Arlington and Watertown and Cambridge and all the different towns and communities you've had an impact on, and just really making a little difference every day. And I really appreciate that about you. I also wanted to give you a shout out or an acknowledgement, a recognition for what you've done for Brian and Fitness Together, our fitness company that has, you know, you and I train with Brian and Fitness Together. My mom trains with them. There's a whole bunch of small business owners that kind of keep themselves running physically so they can keep doing all the business during the day. And you took one of the send out cards from the discovergratitude.com website and you sent a card to one of your clients to offer a complimentary fitness session that Brian told us to offer people at this time, home-based, video-based live fitness session, just like what we're doing on Zoom right now. And you really took that on after he and I presented that opportunity for you. And I really appreciate you for using my service and my support, and also figuring out a way to help Brian grow a business that is so much based in person that if we're not helping them make that transition, like they need that support to be able to keep being able to offer their services to our community. So I love the whole win-win-win-win-win that you created for us as your referral partners in BNI, and also for your clients, and every piece of that. I know it's simple to you, but like the whole piece of how you connected all those things, that's a model for how we can support each other in growing our businesses even after the Corona crisis.
Well, thank you for that. I gotta say it was easy. It was easy because I'm standing here today as one of those people that they talk about is at a higher risk due to my age.
Right.
And yet, in 2014, I first visited Brian at Fitness Together in Belmont. And since that time, I have maintained all the advice that they gave me, both from a point of view of not just exercise, but also diet-wise. And I've been able to put that and keep that in practice for 6 years, the longest period of time that I've ever really kept my weight at a good level. And I feel as strong as I've ever felt in probably 10 years before that. I'm stronger today, I feel, than I was back then. And I do really credit Brian for that. So for me to turn around and do something to try and help spread the word about Brian and you,
Yeah.
and do it at the same time, fantastic opportunity.
Well,
thank you.
If you're seeing this, you know, and you how to, as a professional, offer another professional services, you can literally send information recommending that other business in a send out card on discovergratitude.com, and it's free for your first card. So you can just share the services and the offerings, like a free fitness consultation with Brian at Fitness Together. You just go to discovergratitude.com and you write a little card and you put their information in and you send your friend's services as a gift to another friend. So that's a really powerful way we can promote our businesses inside of BNI. Now, if people want to meet us, this whole team that we keep talking about, all the people on that board behind Maurice, is every Wednesday morning, and you would need to email one of us or call us to get the special invitation because it is by invitation only. The BNI First Choice chapter meets every Wednesday now virtually. We're normally at the Armenian Memorial Church down on Bigelow Street, but until we come out of the crisis and we can come back together in person, we are every Wednesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And that meeting is open to people all over the world. So if you want to come meet some of the most professional, service-oriented, value generating small business owners that Maurice and I have really ever met, and we work with them as our exclusive referral team of partners who are helping each other grow our business, you are more than welcome. Are there any parting words or kind of words of hope or tips for kind of how to get through everything we've been talking about, or something that you want people to go kind of do today to make the world a little bit of a better place?
Sure. Well, I'll actually transition to something just very quickly about things that you might be using this time for. Right now, you may want to reassess what your financial goals are. You may want to look at, I listened to a webinar yesterday, and if you have any thoughts of doing a refi, now's the time to do it, because interest rates will rise, maybe not dramatically, but they will rise. So if they're going to rise and you want to do that, do it now. The thing from my point of view is definitely review your insurance policy. Insurance policies are something you purchase, especially if it's a home policy or an auto policy. You purchase it, you probably really look at it. You're relying on a professional to maybe provide tips for you, but now's a good time to kind of pull it out, take a look. Maybe the information, just the bare information on it, is incorrect. Maybe there's names on there that shouldn't be on there. Maybe there's drivers or young drivers that you're being charged for that shouldn't be on there. Review all that stuff, and don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call your insurance agent and mention that. But in the long range thing, I have a strong faith, and I really do believe we're going to come out of this. And yes, the world will be a slightly changed place, but we're going to get back to doing business again. And to have, again, the support of this team behind me, I just think that you're going to need a team like that moving forward. You're going to need the resources that Noah provides, with an opportunity to be able to say thank you to people, with what Brian provides to stay healthy. And with many of the individuals, we have a range of occupations. I think it's an excellent opportunity to, as Noah invited you, to check it out, because you want to have a vehicle that, especially if you're in business, to be able to fill that funnel moving forward. You can get back in and get ramped up right away when things start to break. So Noah, I truly appreciate the opportunity to spread that kind of message, and thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you so much. And for those of you who want to reach out to us, I have put our phone numbers right below this video. If you have comments, maybe something that you learned that you're taking away that you're going to use in your life, in your business, feel free to put those in the comments and we'll respond to that. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you again, Noah. Have a good day. Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good day. Thank